And we are here. We are live. How exciting. Oh, look, Restream's going to tell me how many people are here too. That's nice. I like that. So, what's up? What's up? Alex will be here momentarily. He is a busy bee right now. They are both busy bees right now. We can get you a look inside the keg room. They are putting things together. Boom. There is Alex building hoses. He does not know you guys are watching, so don't tell. But yeah, he's getting it done. Got a pretty decent keg order going out today. And actually a few keg orders going out today. So that's exciting all by itself. Yeah, we're gonna change this a little bit because there we go. That'll work. And I'll still be here in the corner watching Alex do the keg stuff. Got lots of the keg stuff. There seems to be a little bit of this going on. We don't need that in our lives. That's kind of in the way. As a matter of fact, so is that. There we go. Now we'll move me over here. That's better. Haven't used this screen in a little while, so what is going on? Hi, Martin. That hair, though. Yeah, the hair's probably going to look different next time you see me. I got an appointment tomorrow at 5. It's funny. Me and my hair guy, we got a neat relationship. See, we both expect something out of each other. And I think we both are waiting for the other one to jump. But he expects me to make an appointment to get my hair cut. And I expect him to make me an appointment to get my hair cut. It's the same hair guy that Charles uses. And Charles is always like, Chris is wondering where the heck you been. Like, do you need a haircut? And I'm like, hell yeah, I need a haircut. And he's like, well, he says you haven't made an appointment. I'm like, I'm not going to make an appointment. Well, this last time Charles was mentioning it, I told Charles, I'm like, look, I just do what I'm told. If somebody tells me I have an appointment, I will show up and get my hair cut. Otherwise, I don't know. Eventually, I'll be able to put it in a ponytail. It'll be gone. I won't care. It'll be done. And the next day, I get a text saying that I have an appointment to get my hair done. So that'll be tomorrow, and I will have it did. So next week, I will look like the old me again. Although, believe it or not, this is getting to be more and more the old me. Um, Several years ago, about 15 years ago, my hair was down like to my ass. And it was not because I was trying to do any kind of fashion stuff or any of that. I really didn't care. It's just that I am not good at going out and taking care of things like that. It's not that important to me. And eventually the hair grows long enough that you can just put it up in a ponytail and then it's just all not there and it's fine. And I don't know. I'm getting close. I figure another 3 months it would be there and it could all just be pulled back. But 3 months, that's like, God, I've been waiting. I think it's been almost a year since I got it cut. So I don't know. That's pretty cheap haircuts, right? I mean, Charles goes every 3 weeks. Look how much money he spends. And I'm going to go spend that money once in a year and I'm going to have just as short a hair as him. So I don't know. I guess it works for me. I mean, what do you do? But yeah, so if anybody is wondering as far as the cost of the kegs, I see this all the time. People are like, "Hey, where do we get a keg from? I'm looking for a tint keg." And you get all these people, "Oh, just build one yourself. You can build one for under $100." Now, to build one for under $100, you're going to go buy like a $10 air hose, which is fine. I mean, go buy a $10 air hose. A lot of people do it. Problem is they're lined with rubber, and that's not going to last a long time full of water. You know, rubber's going to get slimy. It's kind of yucky, and it's going to start putting junk into your system. So that's bad. The other thing is, um, I pay more than $100 for the tanks themselves, but I use brand new tanks. Then we disassemble the tanks, which we're not going to see that from Alex right now, or maybe we will because he's got two unopened boxes behind him, I think, that he probably has to open up and prep. But he's got those two behind him, and he's not I don't know. He's running out of time. I don't think this order is going out today. It just came in like an hour ago. Um, and he's like, "Oh, I think I can get it out today." And I'm like, well, okay. You can give it a go. I don't know. So see what you got. But we're running out of time because anytime between now and 5, the UPS guy's going to show up. The UPS guy's got free reign after 4. So I tell him that my customers have until 4 o'clock to get an order in, and it'll ship the same day. And so therefore, if he shows up before 4, I might make him wait until 4 to actually do the pickup. And I should be careful. I don't remember what the hell I was talking about now. I was talking about something, I got sidetracked, but these are things I do. I get sidetracked. And so I am currently sidetracked. But speaking of which, let me put you on pause for just 1 second. I got to go relay a message because we are running out of time. I want to make sure we got a new order in, and it's a decent sized one. I've got to make sure it goes out today. I did it. And Ayana's great. She's already on top of it. She has the order printed. She's like, "Yeah, I got it." And she's not even mean to me about it. So that's cool. Um, yeah, what else? What else is there? I do not even know. Everybody's ignoring Jarvis. I'll just send him to that's Jarvis. He's the guy that wants to sell me ink pens and stuff, and he hasn't got to talk to me in probably 6, 8 months, but he is persistent. He still calls. He is the guy that he printed all these. Where are we? All these pens, and I'm just not a super big fan of it. Printing is, could be better, but the pens are junk too. Like, and I told him I don't want junk, and he told me a bunch of junk. Now, the good thing I can say about the guy, and this is important, this is one of the things that'll keep you entertaining somebody, and your customers will feel the same way. So, one of my things was like, how do other, why are some shops busier than others? What's the deal? We've got one guy nearby, he's a local customer, and he exclaims that my shop is always taking his customers. It's like I can't get these guys in here. And the question that was posed to him was, well, what's your price on a four-door sedan? And he's doing carbon on a four-door sedan for $250. Well, the thing is, we do the entry level Orbit, the dyed film, for $289. We do the Nova, the carbon film, for $389. And he's in here crying that our shop is getting his business. So why is that? What makes that happen? Well, a couple things make that happen. One, your reviews. And I didn't go and check out his reviews. I don't know what kind of reviews he's got, but I do know that he is of the mindset that many of us are or used to be. I no longer am because I worked for a guy that showed me the way. But one thing that I was shown is that your customer does not want to come in and wait for their car to be tinted. They just don't. Nobody wants to go sit in a waiting room for 2-3 hours, whatever it takes to get the car done. And sometimes they have to, and that's just the thing. But we as tinners and a lot of service industry type people tend to think like we don't want them to wait for their cars, so we're not going to try to encourage them. We're not going to provide any provisions. And that's really okay because the customer doesn't really expect that from you. So, a folding chair out there and you're good. You give a customer a place to wait that's not, hovering over you. And that's the other thing. Do you have a waiting room? At Tint Squad, we do have a waiting room. Now, we took it a step further. We don't have folding chairs. We actually have nice leather couches. And the other thing is understanding that the customer is actually has to wait, not wants to wait. Most of our customers drop off. But for the customer that has to wait, we also provide a coffee bar, a snack bar that we don't charge for. We used to have a snack lady. She ended up changing jobs. And so we got rid of the company, but we stayed with the theme. So we've got a box, and about once a month, Mary goes to Sam's Club and buys a bunch of snack stuff. And she keeps the box stocked. And that way, if somebody's there and they got to spend a couple hours, if they want a snack, it's complimentary. Now, keep in mind, the other guy's $250 for a carbon tint job, and we're the exact same film, the exact same carbon job for $389. We can afford to give them a few snacks, right? We also have a glass front refrigerator that we keep full of sodas, diet sodas, waters, juices, caffeine-free sodas, and things of that nature, because you also got to understand sometimes people wait with their children, and so you have to have options for the children. And you keep all those thoughts in mind. And what's the other thing that customers that wait, you hear a lot? Do you have a phone charger? So we put a phone charger at each seat. It's complimentary. It's there. You just, and they're multi-chargers. I don't have one in front of me, but they've got 4 different outlets, which is unnecessary now because now you either got the lightning cable or the USB-C usually. But it does have the 2 lightning cables, USB-C and the micro USB. So it covers pretty much anybody's phone. So you don't have to worry about the customer wanting to go get their phone charger out of their car because they're killing their phone trying to kill time. The other thing we do is maybe they would rather feel a little more at home. So we got a 55-inch TV hanging on the wall. And again, mind you, we are $140 more than the other guy for the same tint job. So just that in itself, why are we getting customers? Word of mouth plays a big factor in this. Take the reviews. We got good reviews, but take the reviews out of the scenario. When somebody says, "Hey, anybody know where I get my windows tinted?" People remember us because we gave them an experience that they didn't expect walking through the door. And believe it or not, a reference is worth more than a price to a lot of people. So even if we wasn't doing more business than him, say he's doing 3 cars a day and we're only doing 3 cars a day, that's $420 more a day that we're bringing in that he's not doing the same amount of business. Now we are doing more than 3 cars a day. And look at the amount of money we can afford to take care of our customers. At that rate, we can also afford to not have the tinner be the one talking to the customers. We actually pay somebody to talk to the customers. Why? Because it's built into the price. It fits, it works. What does that do for us? The tinner's a lot happier, which is good because, if you guys know anything about tinners, they're not always happy people. And so anything you can do to make their life a little easier. So all he has to do is come in, grab the next set of keys, and tint. Our tinner even has a helper. When it comes down to it, they can get a car out in under an hour. It's flawless. It's clean. We have a plotter. So, when the tinner's wrapping up on this vehicle, the helper is already cutting patterns for the next vehicle. And it's just efficient. Customers appreciate that. They remember that. Oh, I went in there and I got a perfect tint job. And yeah, I understand there's no such thing as a perfect tint job, but the customers don't know that. They look at their car, they don't see anything glaring at them. They think it's perfect. And I got a perfect tint job in under an hour. It was crazy. They told me 2 hours and they were done in under an hour. They said they had 2 people working on it. So it was great. And they never had to deal with the tinner because if you guys know anything, when a tinner's having a bad day, he does not or she does not want to talk to the customer. And if he or she does have to talk to the customer, he or she is not trying to get that next job in with the amount of effort that, say, a salesperson that's not having a bad day in the shop would be. Salesperson's job is just to bring the jobs in. The salesperson's job is also to take the time to spend with the client to bring them up. Yes, we start at an entry-level film. Now, don't get me wrong, our entry-level film is still $40 a car more than his carbon film, So, and they'll come in and buy now don't get me wrong, our entry-level film, and I don't spend a lot of time. I am not one of those companies that go all over the internet and creating a persona that, oh, we're the best tint in the world. But I'll tell you, those who try Helios window film, it doesn't matter if you do the Orbit, the Nova, Supernova, or Supernova Alpha. The people that try Helios window film stay with Helios window film for a reason. I'm not out there trying to blow sunshine up your ass. I am here to just provide a service. If you guys want the film, it's a great film. One thing I can tell you is I'm the owner of the company and I've been tinting windows for 35 years. And I've went all the way from being somebody's helper, to owning a distribution shop. And this is self-made. I wasn't the guy that said, hey, I've been tinting for a guy for 3 weeks and I went to school and I'm thinking about starting my own business. What should I do? No, I worked for somebody for 22 years. Actually, I didn't work for one person for 22 years. I worked for a few different shops and I learned from each and every one of those shops, not only what to do, but what not to do. I watched so many mistakes happen that I didn't have to experience, that when in 2010 or 2011, when I finally decided I was going to work for myself, I was instantly successful. By 2017, we were the largest automotive tint shop in Michigan. We had 6 tinters. We were doing like 6,000 cars a year. People called bullshit on me, and that's why I don't make a lot of noise anymore. I get tired of the people telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. Here and there, people that had worked for me would chime in and be like, oh no, for real. He was really doing 6,000 cars a year. It's fucking crazy. How do you think I became a distributor? I didn't come a distributor like a lot of these companies do. I didn't come with a bank account. I came with a tenner's paycheck. The thing was, I was buying over $100,000 in film a year, and it was a good time. And the company I was buying film from pissed me off, and I was going to go find a new film, not because I didn't like their film. I didn't like their distributors. They couldn't cut a roll of film to save their lives. They didn't box consider. It was terrible. And the owner of the company, Haneda Tech, conference called me and he asked me, what can I do to keep your business? I'm like, make me a fucking distributor. I will buy my own slitter. I will box my own film, and I will sell more film than your distributors do. Well, I was still busy tinting a lot of windows. He did make me a distributor for the next year. I didn't even take it seriously. I was just enjoying my new price, so we're buying film for a better price. And then I realized that, wait a minute, this is like, if I choose to make it, this is my future. So here we are. And my promise to you guys and anybody else who happens to watch this is that I'm a window tinner just like you. Every difficulty that you go through or are going to go through, I'm a guy you can turn to that's probably been through it and conquered it. So I could probably help with that. And don't get me wrong, there's companies out there with some sales reps that have some knowledge in the industry. And because they're YouTube famous or Facebook famous, they might appear like they've solved all the problems. The bottom line is those people are still working for somebody. I'm working. Who am I working? Oh, I'm working for Uncle Sam. God, do I pay a lot of taxes? But that's a whole different conversation. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that, what do you want your future to look like? Do you want to be that guy that other shops are looking at? Like, how's he doing so much business? Why is he getting my customers when he's that much more expensive than I am? It's not that hard. It takes some common sense thing. And what this one guy that I worked for taught me is it takes putting yourself in the customer's position. And he said, most importantly of all, be willing to lose money for a customer. Even if that customer never comes back and you chose to lose money for them, it's okay, because most of those customers that you lose money for in a situation that sucks, like for instance, I hear a lot of people like, what's going on here? In that 313 tent group, Matt's group, you'll see a lot of customers in there and they'll post a picture. I saw one recently and it sure looks to me like it was a Tesla door that got shut while it was latched and scuffed his trim. Now, I don't know if that guy actually went back to the tinner, but I see a lot of that. They go back to the tinner, and because it's not a razor scratch or something like that, the tinner is going to try to back out and not pay for that. Why? Because that's going to probably cost them more than the job was worth to begin with. Or a lot of times the tinner is going to try to maybe just either refund the money or not charge for the tint job so that they don't have to handle the repair. But what you don't realize is by doing that, even if the customer agrees to it, you've already left a bad taste in your mouth, and that customer ain't coming back. Even if they agree to it, they ain't coming back. So not only did you not get that customer, but if that customer is involved in the conversation, hey, does anybody know where I can get my windows tinted? If somebody brings your name up, let's say, for instance, this person doesn't open their mouth when somebody says, do you know where I can get my windows tinted? But if your name comes out of somebody else's mouth, you can bet your bottom dollar that that person is going to share their experience with you to that potential customer that you'll never hear from, because that potential customer doesn't want to take a chance. So you don't even get that phone call. All these little things add up. But what I see is all these newer people trying to come up in the industry thinking that their price isn't low enough. Well, I call bullshit. The price is low enough. When I took over Tint Squad, or when I started Tint Squad and took over our operation, The average in Southeast Michigan for a complete four-door tint job was $160, $165. And you had one film to choose from. And this is in 2013. You had one film to choose from, and it was just a price war. Everybody had a lifetime warranty. You could talk till you were blue in the face about how our tinner's better than his tinner. Customer doesn't care about that. Every customer, I don't care if he's paying $100 or $500, every customer expects an immaculate tint job. So you can't convince them that the other guy sucks unless that other guy's got a ton of he sucks reviews. Then you can maybe point them to that. But if that's how you're going to run your business, you're not going to be successful. So most importantly, stand out from everybody else. Give the customer something they didn't expect. And if you make a mistake, because mistakes happen, here's one for you. My tinner was stuffing a towel and a rope in oh God, what was it? Some Italian fucking car, expensive too. I don't remember what it was. It was a non-issue. We carry insurance because sometimes things happen. Most of the time, it seems like we're just giving the insurance company money and it didn't matter. Well, he stuffs this rope and this towel down in this thing, and right around the A pillar, it was really tight. I don't know if any of you guys ever experienced this before, but he slammed it down there and cracked the windshield. Now, a lot of you guys are probably thinking, wow, that sucks. You know, there's a couple $100. So we looked around, and it's a import only windshield. We had to order it from Italy. So it took 6 weeks to get here, and it was $6,000. But immediately when it happened, we let the customer know that it happened, apologized profusely, told them, because we never go to the customer with a problem without having a viable solution. So we had already called the glass shops and found out that it wasn't available. We found out the timeline on when it could be available. We had the person that was actually going to, at the customer's convenience, do the install for them. And we let them know this is all at no cost to them. And we are terribly sorry about the inconvenience. And our insurance has a $100 deductible. I know a lot of people are like, you pay how much a month for insurance? Oh man, I get insurance for like $45. File a claim. See what happens. You know, your deductible might be $1,000, $1,500, $2,500, you know, little exemptions in there that might not be covered. Did you know that if we rent our shop, but if we drove a car through the door of the shop and damaged the car and damaged the shop, they would have a construction crew come and fix our shop. The collision shop would fix the car, and we would have a $100 deductible. Now that's worth something to me. So, and by knowing that I get what I pay for, I can convey that to my customers. And those are the kind of customers I attract. So I don't have the customers. All right, I got to read a couple of comments because I'm falling behind here. Thank y'all again for the keg. I need some sun distributing banners to hang in the shop. Yeah, we got to order some more banners. We need to get you some more reviews. Are you guys not using TintWiz to help you with those? So Mary uses TintWiz. She doesn't use it anywhere near to its fullest, and she only uses it for flat glass, and she's totally okay with that. And she runs the tint shop. I am out of it completely. I showed her everything that I knew before I came over here to run Sun, and she doesn't want my assistance. So, what is your take on deals of the week to chum up more business when slow? Okay, so that guy that I told you about that showed me that you should be something special for the customer when they walk through your door and give them something they don't expect, and always be willing to lose money for a customer. So a combination of between him and another guy that I did some subcontracting for, they showed me a technique to do that without devaluing yourself. Now, the guy that I told you about that I worked for, in the beginning, he actually had me go out by the road and hold a sign that said $99 complete tint job for the next car. And that was very effective. I most of the time didn't make it 10, 15 minutes out there, and somebody decided that $99, I'm going to get my car tinted. And usually by the time I'm done with that car, he's got another car lined up for me. So it was fine. And I only do one car for $99. What I don't like is somebody that would run an ad on Facebook, because what's going to happen with that is somebody's going to see it this week. Next week, they're going to be like, hey, I saw you had a special for $99. And you'll be like, oh man, sorry, that was last week. So if you don't find a way to hook and bring that customer in for the price that you want, you're either going to discount it anyways, or he don't like you no more and he's not coming back. So you lost that customer. So you got to find a way to just sneak it in, sneak it out. What the guy that I did some subcontract work for, most of the time he was able to fill up a day for me, so I didn't have to worry about this. But every now and again somebody wouldn't show up or whatever, and so just to give me something to do while I was waiting for the next job, if the phone rang, he'd be like, yeah, and say his price was $249 for a complete, he would be like, yes, $249, but right now today we're running a special for today only. If you can bring it down right now, we're at $220. And so he would knock $30 off if they could bring it down right now. And again, what that taught me was it limits visibility to your discount. Because if you put out your discount out there for everybody to see, it's going to devalue you a lot further than you can see or realize. And you're going to start becoming known at that discounted tint shop. And people are going to come in wanting a discount, asking for discounts. And we get enough of that in our industry anyways. And so our shop is very adamant about the price is the price. We're not doing this for beer money on the weekend. Everybody here is doing this for their career. This is what they do for a living. This is what feeds their family and sends them off to school. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I think, honest to God, I think that it's time that I just get a little more involved in helping people grow their businesses. And I'm not gonna mince words when it comes to who's a better I saw a meme with an XPEL guy getting beat up by a GeoShield guy with the high-tech guy. And anybody see that post? I got a chuckle out of it because the Helios guy is over there minding his own fucking business, making money. It's not, for us, it's not a popularity contest, even though in marketing it does make sense, because look at how many people are talking about XPEL. Well, even Autobahn jumped into the popularity contest scene, pretty recently, and they're doing real good with it. And GeoShield, because they got Matt, and so it was such a close call with Matt. Matt used to use Avery. Matt worked for me for like 5 years, and when he decided he wanted to go back to making videos, we kind of separated on good terms, because I like to support my people, even if it means they're no longer going to be on my side. We're still on each other's side. So he goes and he's using that, but he decided that he wanted to do Tint Studio. And so with the Tint Studio concept, it was all about presentation. And if you guys have ever seen Avery boxes, they're ugly. And they're just plain brown boxes. They don't look good on camera. And at that time, I was starting to get serious about growing the Helios brand, but not serious enough to spend the $16,000 it took to get tools and dies made to get my own boxes made so that they looked nice. So he remembered that he had used GeoShield before and liked it. And so he switched to GeoShield. Well, about a year later, I switched to new boxes so that I could make my presentation look a lot better, at least for you guys and the customers. And I couldn't talk Matt into switching over. He's like, look, man, I will happily, he's used the Helios. He loves the Helios, but there's nothing wrong with GeoShield. GeoShield's a good film. And I'll let you know, Autobahn's a good film also. And I can't speak on high tech. I don't know anything about it. Expel is a good film, and so they're all good film. And if you look at the price levels, they're all priced accordingly. Now let's go back to what I was talking about my tint shop and how I'm priced $140 a car for the carbon film more than my down the road competitor, and I'm doing more business than him. That's a lot like what's happening with the window film. Now, I'm not trying to grow the window film side of things. I mean, if it grows, great. Everybody that tries it uses it, so we're constantly growing. But oh my God, what if I grew so fast that I couldn't keep up and I started pissing people off? I'm here to support you guys, not hurt you guys. And we're doing well. So, don't worry about that. But you'll notice my price is a little bit lower than Expel and Autobahn. And I will tell you flat out and not mince words, my film is every bit as good. I'm kind of partial. I think it's better. I love the way it shrinks. I love the way it feels. It's amazing. Although I've heard a lot of good things about the Autobahn. But what I'm not doing is I'm not paying celebrities to go rep my film. Just like that coffee bar and the TV and the couches and the snack bar and the soda bar, all that stuff costs money in my lobby at the tint shop. So it gets taxed on the top end. What do you think you're paying for when you buy those brands? You're paying for a good film, yes, but you're also paying those people that work for those companies to rep their brand. I don't have any of those. I rep my brand. Alex reps my brand. I have a few customers that rep my brand because they're like scratching their head wondering why these people are buying this other film. Well, I know why these people are buying this other film because the internet keeps telling them to. And I'm not out there on the internet telling them to. And I don't have an army of people telling them to. So I know what we have in our window film. You know, a lot of my viewers, a lot of you guys that watch me don't buy my window film. And that's okay. A few of you do. Every now and again, it's almost like I guilt somebody into, oh, I'll try it. And then they just keep buying it because they're like, holy shit. That's just the way it is. And, I mean, there's Lexan. Look at Lexan. Now, I am nothing like Lexan. My film is nothing like Lexan, but they don't use promotion in the sense of hiring people to go out there and woohoo, we got the best, be with us, um, they sell the cheapest, decent looking, fair to work with, not the best. I mean, if you worked with my film versus Lexan film, you'll notice you'll tint a car a lot faster with mine. Why? Because it's just a lot easier to shrink. It's a lot easier to work with. And it's a lot easier if you do have little this or that's, it's a lot easier to touch up. And it's a big deal. And when you start getting busy, you'll realize time really is money. There's a reason that a lot of tinters think it's really important to tint a car in under an hour because you only have so many hours in your day. How many hours are you going to work? You gotta pick and choose, so you get what you pay for in that sense. And one thing you're not getting with us is you're not helping me pay paychecks, $100,000 a year for reps that are celebrities on Facebook, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're very effective and those guys are selling a ton of film. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. That's just a kind of a side shot of the same example of why one business might be making more money than the other business or selling more jobs than the other business. It can go from tint shop to distributor, and I'm on both ends of that spectrum. I'm not a big bragger, and what I've learned in the tint industry, I can't exactly put that into distribution because distribution's a thing. With our marketing is all online, and I'm not one of those guys that goes out and brags. I like my customers to do the bragging for me, and it works. I mean, don't get me wrong. Also, we make sure that our Google is up to date. We get reviews. I am a firm believer in not asking for reviews. I don't give rewards for reviews. I don't reach out and ask for reviews. Customers review me because they want to. And one thing I'll tell you is you get more negative reviews generally than positive reviews as far as somebody taking the initiative to leave a review, unless people have the suggestion of, hey, go leave us a review and we'll this, or, oh, by the way, just wondering, um, would you be willing to leave us a review, or hanging a QR code in the lobby so that they can leave you a review? And we don't do any of that. We want each review to be genuine 100% because the person chose to, not because they were asked to. And that probably is more of a negative on our side. But when you're capable of building a tent shop able to do $1 million in automotive tent a year, it's kind of like, if I don't want to flaunt it, then I shouldn't have to. And with Sun Distributing, it's a different thing. I'm a window tinner. I come from that side of things. Now I'm here just trying to make sure that every tinner that I deal with, I give them the support that they deserve, and not just I don't know what I was I got sidetracked. I was reading, trying to catch back up on the chat. T-Town said that the guy I was talking about was a tinner. He blocked his name to ask that I'm able to see those people who post like that. Yeah, that's the neat thing about being an admin. It's funny. People go and post anonymously, not realizing you still got a group of people that can see who you are. So I don't know. And other people are like, well, cool, Martin. I guess Alex has got your wrap ready to go. So we're just waiting on the keg, and we're going to get you all squared away. Other people will, what the hell was I saying? Dang. See, usually I got Alex here, but as you see, he's still busting ass. UPS has not showed up yet, I don't think. Oh, UPS did show up. Oh my God, UPS did show up. It's 15 minutes to 5, and these guys are still out there busting ass. That's crazy. Oh, show this. Where is it? I got a camera here. Well, that's one. There it is. Look at my new parking lot. Isn't that amazing? I think it's great. I think it's great. Um, if you guys remember what it looked like before. And yes, my trailer's still up on the lawn, but the parking lot guy said give it about a week before you put that big ass heavy trailer on it, otherwise it's going to sink. And I need, as you see, I got a couple of puddles out there, so I need the parking lot guy to come back and kind of level that off. He's supposed to be back tomorrow, so all kinds of exciting things happening. And oh man, you should have seen the text I got yesterday from someone trying to ask to price match. Yeah, one of the lines as far as price matching goes, one of the lines that Mary and Brittany uses is, I can't match his price because he doesn't work for me. I give you what my guy's worth, and that's what we charge. Simple as that. Like there is a difference in who's doing your car. We're not going to focus on it. We're not going to spend a lot of time with it, but the answer is no, and this is why. And yeah, it's and sometimes those people get surly, like, why not? You have to. Well, why don't you just have him do it? Well, he can't get to it till next week. Well, cool. Sometimes convenience costs more money, but I already told you what our price was. Did you want to schedule? Would you like to bring it in? And a lot of times they'll just go away. And it's okay, because those are not the customers we're shooting for. Those are not the customers we're looking for. And let's see. No, now what expel is around here. As people from time to time, if they know any film brands. Most don't, but maybe 3M. Yeah, 3M's a household name, and it's not because of window film. but 3M making window film. And, if you look around your house, you got 3M stuff in your house. Hell, Post-it notes, 3M, and, Scotch tape, 3M, garbage cans, I think 3M makes them. So, yeah, people know that name not because of window film marketing, not because it's a great brand. It's a great branding product. So, there's that. Um, you got to ask for sure, but to each your own. Yeah, I mean, seriously, as far as the reviews go, I do personally encourage people to ask for reviews because customers don't know no better. That's a in here thing for me. What are we're still looking at. How about we just let's go ahead and put me up here. Well, just hi. But yeah, I do encourage people to ask for reviews. I wouldn't suggest paying for reviews, but for me, I don't do it because it's an in here thing, and our numbers show that I don't need to do it. It's just one of those things that I can go with what my heart feels rather than what my mind says. And again, I'm not a promoter. I'm not a bragger. I'm not that guy that puts himself out there. And that's why you guys don't see me all over Facebook, making video. Although I keep saying I need to make videos and every now and again I'll make a video. I just ain't super comfortable doing it. I don't even like doing this tool talk thing. But I do enjoy talking. So I've gotten used to it. It's not bad. But what I love to do is help people. And it does something for me. And helping people succeed in this industry really does it for me because I started in this industry when I was 17 years old, and I don't know how old I am. I think I'm 30, 50. I don't know. Was I 17? Yeah, 89, 04. Yeah, so I'm 53. So that was that was a lot of years ago. I don't know. Math isn't mathin'. I guess that's a Gen Z thing. Math isn't mathin'. That's one of the few things they say that I enjoy. I like it. Um, he was like, I understand. Then 5 minutes later was like, meet me halfway. I'll pay cash. LOL. I said no. And he still came. Yeah. So when you throw the cash idea at me, honestly, it's about the time of year. In the summertime, yeah, cash isn't really that big of a factor. In the wintertime, when money is slow and everything, and it'd be nice to have a little extra petty cash, maybe, I'll finagle a little bit. But also remember, if the customer says match this price and you're like, no, I can't do that. And then he comes back and he says, well, meet, and so you're here and he's here, and he comes back and says, meet me halfway. Then all of a sudden, this is his starting point. This is yours. And you can be like, I tell you what, I'll meet you here. But your way works too. As long as the exchange is still good with the customer, then I mean, reel that fucker in. Sell yourself, sell your worth. It's important. It's great, man. Catch is as often as I can. I got more boxes headed your way tomorrow than two new printers to try and keep up. Hey, Corey, I saw that you were selling a few printers and I was worried. I'm like, oh my God, he's not going to stop making these things. Corey's in the house. He's the maker of the rack. So if you haven't got a rack yet, get one. I think we got two on the shelf. So there's that. And but it's okay. We leave them available for back order. So when those sell, you can still back order. Corey sends me racks every week. Some weeks I don't sell as many and as I actually build a few on the shelf. And then other weeks I just stack up the back orders and I'm like, dude, send me more faster. And he's like, look, it's printing as fast as it can. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, so we sell the racks. We sell them with the neon green end caps and haha, no, I got more fast printers. I was thinking about talking to you about buying one of those older, slower ones because I don't have anything cool to print. I don't even know where to start with it, but it would be super cool to. figure some. I don't know. I don't need that shit in my life. That's probably why I didn't reach out to you. Good companies have a focus of trying to help their customers grow. That's 100%. And Sean Vogler in the house, it's probably not good practice to promote somebody else's competing business. I don't know if Sean probably doesn't even think of me as a competitor. I don't think I affect his business at all. In fact, I buy some things from Sean. So there's that. Also, I don't think of Sean as a competitor because God, if you guys knew how much Sean does to help me in my endeavor, Sean is like, I don't know how he is to the tinners, up and comers as far as that goes. But I know as the distributor up and comer and the film brand owner up and comer, there's a lot that I don't know. And Sean has reached out to me more than a handful of times to let me know when I'm straying off. And like, most people would kick back, put their feet up, and watch the fucking dumpster fire. And Sean is like, no, hey, Rick, look, you're doing that. I mean, like, so there's one Tool Talk particular that is no longer in existence. It had to get deleted from everywhere because I don't know. I was ordering coffee or something. I don't remember, but yep, I just threw I went through the checkout and never even realized it, but there was my credit card information for the whole world to copy. And he, with the quickness, he's like, dude, you just showed us your credit card information. I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to go. And like, he didn't have to do that. He could have been like, oh, watch this. This ought to be a good post tomorrow. Well, Sean probably also knows me well enough that when my credit card gets stolen, I don't post about it. That happens. But yeah. Sean is a great person. If you're doing business with Solar FX, I ain't even going to try to take your business because I mean, actually I would. If you called me and said, is your film better? I would say absolutely it is because I believe it is. Now, Sean's been in business since he was a little twinkle in his daddy's eye and his daddy was running the show. So I know for a fact that they have a good film that stands the test of time. You don't see anybody bashing them. But I believe in my film. I can't say that mine's better than his. I've never used Solar FX. I mean, that's not entirely true. I bought a roll of Frost from him once, and it was good film. I liked it. But that was Frost. That's not the same thing that I'm trying to talk about here. So there's that. But I don't see anybody talking bad about his film, so I can't say that it's a bad film. But I can say that Sean Vogler is a good man. And enough about Sean already, because like this is Tool Talk from Sun Distributing, not Sean Talk for Solar FX and Dragon Distributing. And I got to figure out, that's the other thing I got to figure out, how he does what he does, because they got Dragon Distributor and they got Solar FX, and both are very like active, functional. I mean, we have Helios Window Film, we have TintKeg, we got HeliosWindowFilms.com, we've got TintKeg.com, we've got SunDistributing.com. We've got all these things, and we focus really on Sun Distributing. So I don't know. Just used your Helios film for the first time. Took a bit to get slip solution right. Yeah, that's kind of the case when you switch films. Everything's gonna act a little different. It shrinks very nice, regardless if it's a shop owner or a distributor competitor. Yeah. Yeah, Sean is one guy that I am glad I bumped into somewhere down the road along the way. And actually, we could probably thank Sean for the start that I got with Helios Window Film. If we're being entirely honest, he made the difference there for me. Because I was spinning my wheels. I was starting it regardless, but I was having a tough time finding the film that I could stand up, puff my chest out, and be like, "This is it. This is the film that you've been waiting for." And he's like, "Give this guy a call." And I'm like, "No shit." Gave that guy a call, and that guy's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And we got to meet, and I tried some films, and I'm like, "Whoa!" And I think grandiose. At first I'm like, "Oh my god, I love this film. I can't believe Sean just did that. I'm going to feel so bad when I bury them." But as Sean will attest, that's not what happens when you help other people. When I was running Tint Squad, as much film as we were doing, I would approach and be approached by other shops, and I'd get mixed responses from other shops. Some shops would be like, "How do you do it?" And other shops would be like, "How dare you come into my neighborhood?" Because we had 16 different accounts. We had tinners everywhere in 3 different counties. And we single-handedly raised the price in the market. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was talking about how when I started, we were at about $160, $165 for a complete and dyed film. And currently we're at $289. Now it is 7 years later. So it isn't all of a sudden change. But the thing is, now we can't raise our prices as fast as our competitors are raising their prices. They don't have the whole formula as to how to do what we do, but they do know that they should be able to get the price that we get. So there is a lot of shops that are even more expensive, $299 or $299, $309. That's a common thing for a dyed film around us now. And we're at $289 because we have a formula, and every year our price goes up, period. We don't justify it, rationalize it. A lot of people will allow fear to keep them from raising their own prices because they're like, "Oh, I'm already slow. My customers won't pay that." Yes, they will. When the gas price goes up, they pay that. When the milk price goes up, they pay that. When eggs go up, they pay that. And I know what you're saying. Well, you need milk and eggs. Well, no, you don't. I was single for long enough to know that I went a long time without buying milk. You don't need milk. Hell, there's countries out there that don't believe in drinking milk. They're like, that's not natural, and they just don't. You don't need. There's certain things that you don't need. But the other thing, how about cars? Did you see the price of cars go up? And guess what? People were still selling their cars for ridiculous prices, and people were buying them. Why? Because that's what they wanted, and they had to be willing to pay for it if they wanted it. And I know what you're thinking. Well, yeah, but if I raise my prices and I'm that high and the guy down the street's cheaper, then he's going to get all my business. Well, no, he's not, because he's still one man and he can only do so much film, and he's not going to take all your business. Believe it or not, doing 6,000 cars a year, all the shops around us kind of progressively raised their prices with us, and they all maintained their business but made more money doing it. I'm not saying that they got busier because they raised their prices, but they realized they could follow a trend up and still sell the same amount of film and make more money. It's not up to the price. The price is not going to determine how much money you make. You're going to determine that. And as far as what's going to determine how busy you are, again, like I said in the beginning of this, stand out, be different, give the customer something they did not expect, and don't be afraid to spend the money on it. The most money you spend in your shop should be on your waiting area. And I spent as much on my waiting area as I spent on my brand new Graphtec FC 8600 160, and that was $6,000. And that was 2017 when I spent $6,000 on my waiting area. But you know what? Every customer that walks through my door for the first time is wowed, and they remember me. And that's important, because without repeat business, you're going to run out of customers, period. So we are out of time. It's 5:03. Guys, it has been amazing. This was a good week, and I really thought Alex was gonna. Oh my God, I really thought Alex was gonna chime in. And Alex has already left. It's 5:03. He's gone. Those fuckers worked all the way up until the end of the day and left without saying goodbye. Whatever. But until next week, guys, have a great. Oh, by the way, ATR is back in stock. It showed up today a day early. That's exciting. That never happens for me, but it happened this time, so I'm excited. Anyways, I will see you guys next week if we don't talk.